Tuesday. Tuesdays are weird, like that one time I found a badger in my cornflakes. This Tuesday was weirder, because a shoe woke up. Yes, a shoe. A left one, a bit scuffed, to be honest. It decided it was alive, and hungry. Very hungry indeed, not for socks. Oh no, something much better. This was a shoe with ambition, you see, a truly groundbreaking piece of footwear. This shoe was called Bartholomew, Barty for short. He didn't choose the name, it just felt right. Like pineapple on pizza, some people hate it. Barty loved pineapple. But today, Barty wanted a sandwich, a big, beautiful sandwich. He'd seen one earlier, on the kitchen table. It looked delicious, full of cheese and pickle. His favourite, if shoes could have favourites. And Barty decided they definitely could. Now being a shoe has its problems. No hands, you see. Or a mouth, for that matter. This makes eating tricky. Barty wiggled his laces. He tried to shuffle. It was slow work. The sandwich seemed miles away, like trying to reach the TV remote when you're comfy on the sofa. And it's just out of reach. A real tragedy, that is. Barty felt that tragedy now, deep in his soul. A bluebottle fly buzzed past. It landed on the window. "Oi, mate!" Barty tried to shout, but only a squeak came out, a sort of leathery sigh. The fly ignored him, rude. Barty focused on the sandwich again. It had tomato, red and juicy. He imagined the taste, the squish of the bread, the tang of the pickle. He had to have it. He just had to figure out how. This called for a plan, a cunning shoe-based plan. Barty needed a plan, a clever plan, like a fox wearing a tiny hat. He saw a broom leaning nearby. If he could just nudge it, maybe it would fall and knock the sandwich closer to him. Yes, that was the plan. A brilliant plan. Almost as brilliant as me. Almost. He took a deep breath. Or tried to. Shoes don't have lungs. Details, details. He was a shoe of action, not anatomy. He started to inch towards the broom. Inch by inch. Agony. Like watching paint dry. But wetter. And with more shoe. The floor was surprisingly sticky. Was that jam? From breakfast? Probably. Humans are messy. Barty grunted with effort. Or the shoe equivalent. A sort of leathery groan. He nudged the broom handle. Just a tiny bit. Please fall. Please fall, he thought. His entire being was focused on that broom. Suddenly the back door flew open. A gust of wind blew in. It smelled of Tuesday and confused pigeons. And then it started to rain. Inside. Not water. Oh no, it was raining purple Smarties. Millions of them, bouncing off the floor, clattering on the table. One landed right on the sandwich. Barty blinked his eyelets. This was not in the plan. Not at all. What was happening? This was beyond strange. The purple Smarties were quite distracting. Barty had never seen purple rain before, especially not chocolatey rain. He wondered if they tasted good. Probably. Purple is a tasty colour like aubergines or some types of grape. But the sandwich! He couldn't forget the sandwich. It was his mission. His destiny, even if it now had a Smartie hat. He refocused, determined, despite the sugary downpour. He was a very determined shoe. A squirrel poked its head through the cat flap. It had a tiny monocle, and a very serious expression. "Good heavens!" it chattered. "Is that confectionery precipitation I observe?" Barty tried to explain. About the sandwich, and his hunger. But it came out as a series of small thuds, against the floorboards. The squirrel stroked its chin. "Fascinating," it said. "Utterly perplexing. Are you perchance attempting to communicate through percussive means?" "Yes." Barty willed the squirrel to understand. He wiggled his laces frantically, towards the sandwich. The squirrel hopped closer. "Ah, the culinary delight upon the table," it exclaimed. "A noble quest for a footwear item. Most unusual. Tell me, my leathery friend, what is the meaning of Tuesday? Does it involve nuts?" Barty had no idea. He just wanted the sandwich. This squirrel was very philosophical, and a bit annoying, to be honest, just as Barty thought things couldn't get weirder. They did. The purple Smartie rain stopped, and it began to snow. Big, fluffy snowflakes, inside the kitchen. In June. The squirrel put up a tiny umbrella. "Oh, typical British summer," it sighed. "Always expect the unexpected, especially on a Tuesday involving animated footwear." Barty was now very cold, and still very hungry. The snow was covering the sandwich. This was a disaster. A snowy, sugary disaster. The sandwich was now a snowy mound, with a purple Smartie on top, like a tiny, edible snowman. Barty felt a wave of despair. This was impossible. How could a single shoe overcome such odds? Purple rain, a philosophical squirrel, indoor snow. It was all too much. Then he remembered something. His owner always left the window open a crack. Maybe, just maybe, he could get outside and find a less complicated sandwich. Or a friendly dog, with opposable thumbs. Barty abandoned the snowy sandwich. His new goal, the window. It was a long journey, across the now slushy, smarty-strewn floor. He shuffled, he slid, he persevered, like a tiny, leathery hero. He imagined a fanfare, trumpets, maybe a kazoo. He reached the wall, now to climb. Shoes are not good climbers. This was another design flaw. He needed an elevator or a helpful spider, but bigger, much bigger, and less creepy. Suddenly the floorboards vibrated, a rhythmic tapping sound. Tap, tap, tappity tap, louder and louder. What fresh madness was this? The back door burst open again, not with wind this time, but with a badger, a very large badger, wearing a top hat and tap shoes. It began to tap dance, right there in the kitchen, amongst the melted snow and Smarties. It was surprisingly good, very Fred Astaire, if Fred Astaire was a badger, and slightly more aggressive. The tap dancing badger twirled, it spotted Barty. Aha! It boomed. A lone shoe! Just what I need for my act! Before Barty could protest, which he couldn't really do anyway, the badger scooped him up. It examined Barty closely. A bit scuffed, but it'll do. Adds character, it declared. Barty was confused. What act? He wasn't a performer, he was a hungry shoe, who just wanted a sandwich, or possibly a biscuit by now, a very plain biscuit. The badger placed Barty on its head, like a jaunty, leathery crown. Perfect! It cried. Then it grabbed the snowy sandwich, not to eat it. Oh no, it balanced the sandwich on its nose. Behold! It announced to the empty kitchen. The incredible balancing badger, and his amazing thinking shoe hat. It then tap danced out of the door, leaving Barty on its head, bouncing along, wondering if badgers liked cheese and pickle. The sandwich remained perfectly balanced, and the purple Smarties outside had turned into tiny flying teacups. Just another Tuesday.